What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Shadowkeep news. And it's a pretty big bit of information. Bungie are going to be delaying the release of Shadowkeep just by a couple of weeks. Today they jump in with a blog post announcing this. They give us the new release date, which is actually going to be October 1st. They talk about why this is happening, some of the things they're focusing on moving forward. They give us details about the new raid. This will be called the Garden of Salvation. They will be extending Moments of Triumph. Cross-save will still be coming later on this month. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff, and hopefully you guys can give me some thoughts about it. We've also got some additional news roundups and things to do with content this season, so we'll touch on those in the video too. So the blog post coming from the Destiny dev team, and they've said, as we get closer and closer to serving up Shadowkeep and New Light, it has become increasingly clear to us that our releases for this fall would benefit from a bit more time in the oven. Being independent means that the future of Destiny 2 is entirely on our team. It also means that we're agile enough to choose to do what's best for the game and our players, even if it's a hard choice. So we wanted to let you, our community, know that we're changing the date for Shadowkeep and New Light from September 17th to October 1st. And so bear that in mind. It's going to be a couple of weeks difference essentially, but there may be adjustments you have to make to your plans if you'd plan to kind of take time off or do anything like that around mid-September for Shadowkeep. But in the blog, they said this fall is the first step on a journey for what our team wants Destiny 2 to become, a place for you and your friends to play anytime, anywhere, owning the action MMO and RPG elements that we love about the game, and crushing barriers to entry for friends. We just need a bit of extra time to take the first step. They add that we didn't make this decision lightly. We know for some of you, us too, that Destiny releases are events where you take time off work or develop a sudden sickness that keeps you from school or work. We get it. A bunch of our team takes time off to go on their own Destiny jacket quests as well. We're sorry for screwing up your plans, and we wanted to share this information as quickly as we could. And so I know there will be some mixed feedback about this. Definitely give us your thoughts. We'll talk about it a little bit more in just a moment, but they do give us some more dates and things to think about. So the world first for the new raid, Garden of Salvation, will begin on Saturday, October 5th. It's a weekend raid race and contest will be active. So firstly, a weekend raid is definitely different. Maybe one of the benefits of adjusting the launch for Shadowkeep is that they've moved it to a weekend. And so obviously with a lot of people at work and stuff, it may be a better time on the weekend. Let us know your thoughts about it down below. But the contest modifier will still be active. That means that it is a world first race. There'll be power limits and things like that active as well. But on top of this, for this season of Opulence, they say that they're extending Moments of Triumph through to September 17th. And so it gives us an additional 3 weeks to complete the challenges, any of the stuff to do with Moments of Triumph, and Bungie rewards associated with that. Definitely bear that in mind, and it changes the dynamic of the kind of grind for the armor and things like that. Bungie will be running an additional Iron Banner the week of September 17th as well. So if you want to work towards the armor or anything like that, including with the kind of update that we had this week to how that quest works, there will now be 2 Iron Banners before the end of the season. But they've said that cross-save will come online later this summer, so you'll have time to sort out your friends list well ahead of Shadowkeep. And so we can still expect cross-save to kind of kick off the character selection, the account selection and things like that. Jared Burback from Bungie on Twitter did confirm that cross-save is still coming later this month. So it sounds like some functionality is going to be there. Maybe we'll actually start to be able to use it early. It sounds like that's what's going to happen later on in August, so definitely do keep that in mind as well. And they do have new artwork with the kind of updated release date right there. And they say that there will be more to come next week. Thanks for playing, and they'll see us soon. And so regardless of the adjustment to the release date, it looks like we will get more conversation about the future of the game. Stay tuned for that next week, as Luke Smith on Twitter did say that Shadowkeep would benefit from a little more time on the workbench, so they're going to take it. And then added that he's hoping to publish a state of the game, which is going to be very long and somewhat very nerdy. And this will be next week, looking at the last 6 months of learnings from Destiny 2 and outlining the kind of changes that we're making to the game in Shadowkeep and why. So that's something to look forward to next week, I suppose. Really, I think for Destiny in general, is something that we've kind of been missing. You know, if you look at Division or something, they especially have had a lot of kind of state of the game coverage with developers, keeping the conversation between them and the community pretty active. And it also gives us better insights about what Bungie are hoping to achieve with certain things. And who knows, it could address some pretty important issues to a lot of us as players. Definitely note that it says they're going to be outlining the kind of changes they're making to the game in Shadowkeep and why. So it's possible that we will get some new information there as well. In fact, it's pretty likely. But there we have it. Shadowkeep, unfortunately, is going to be delayed until the start of October. And that means alongside that, you know, it includes Season of the Undying, New Light, transfer to Steam and all of that kind of stuff. And I feel like the response is going to be pretty mixed here. And how much it sucks probably kind of depends on you. You know, if you'd booked time off work or something already, or the mid-September launch otherwise kind of suited your plans, then yeah, I think it's definitely a little bit disappointing. But But I think at the same time, a lot of people will probably be able to respect the fact that sometimes stuff like this happens, and if Bungie need to do this in order to polish the expansion to get things working, then obviously it's better that they do the right thing for the game. Definitely let me know how you feel down below. I mean, obviously, to be completely transparent, I'm a content creator and I do this for a living, so if Shadowkeep launched in mid-September, I'd be there, and I'll still be here on October 1st, so for me it is very much a minor adjustment, and a lot of us know that we have a lot to look forward to in Shadowkeep, obviously. And again, a really big thing is the quality of that content. Look at the course of the annual pass. I think Bungie have definitely got better at producing a roadmap of content like they have been. And the main thing now is for them to be able to take what they've learned and hopefully do it even better in year 3, right? And that isn't to disregard the problems with Destiny. There's a lot of stuff that needs looking at. There are always things in the sandbox the community are talking about, and Bungie probably should be faster at addressing some of these things. There's also that PvP endgame, the lack of trials, a lot of the highly requested kind of features, and Bungie have even said themselves they know that things like strike playlists need to be improved. And so while Shadowkeep is exciting, I totally recognise that there are things in the game that Bungie need to address, but I do personally see a lot of those things as very foundational, right? A season of content doesn't necessarily fix the PvP endgame problem. It's something that needs to be individually and fully addressed. Equally, I feel like the annual pass content in general has improved. And so Bungie need to continue to strike a balance, and if delaying Shadowkeep a little bit is going to improve that situation, then personally, I'm okay with it, but I do respect how everyone else feels. So let us know your thoughts down below. Is it something that doesn't really bother you? There are other game launches, you know, you may be playing Borderlands in September. If you are, you get a little bit more time before Destiny kicks off again. And as I said before, you may have plans for that September launch, so it's definitely unfortunate if that's the case, but let us know your thoughts down below, guys. I think the thing Bungie needs to do next is definitely deliver some solid kind of updates and information about Shadowkeep, along with extending some of the events and the season up until when Shadowkeep launches on October 1st. Hopefully it will mean that the roadmap won't be kind of too barren or anything. But yeah, the other thing that Bungie can do is talk a lot about Shadowkeep, the content. We're certainly going to get more of that through August, and I guess now September as well. And so share your thoughts about it down below. Definitely a lot of stuff to talk about at the moment, and really most important is what you guys think. Now though, I wanted to round up a few more things about Solstice this year, and a quick shout for anyone who wants to masterwork the armor. The Valor Reset masterwork requirement is retroactive for this season. We spoke about this before the event dropped, and we weren't sure if we'd have to get that reset while we've actually got the armor, but as long as you've done the reset, that'll allow you to masterwork one of the pieces, and of course that's pretty good if you're going for the title, and that'll definitely be one of the main reasons that people do this. Bear that one in mind, it could be useful. There's also a requirement to complete the Shattered Throne with just 2 people, and of course, Shattered Throne will come next week, but then it will go away until after Solstice is over. And so as far as we know, you can masterwork these pieces of gear any time. But if the Shattered Throne part was one that you were banking on completing, just bear in mind, next week is going to be the best time to do it in the next month or so. Now, when it comes to the Solstice packages that you can get from the Aerial Zone, once you get the Majestic Armor set, the legendary pieces, you can get other Majestic pieces dropped randomly from the packages that come with different bonuses, they can come with enhanced perks. And so one shout, if that sounds interesting, would be to save the Solstice boxes that you don't actually need to open as part of your upgrades. Because of course then, once you have the Majestic set, you can just open those packages and potentially get some good rolls. The only downside to this, of course, is that we are getting Armor 2.0, and so in September, we'll be able to claim 2.0 versions of these pieces if we've acquired them as legendary sets, but all of the perks on them are going to be reset as part of the new system. You can keep any god rolls that you actually get now, it's just that they won't be able to take advantage of the new mods and all of that. And so it's kind of useful if you want god rolls right now, but 2.0 versions will more or less replace a lot of that stuff. A couple of other things about Solstice. You may have noticed that when you're empowered, it does double the duration of your super. Of course, if you're using super energy, then it's still going to work its way down, but if you're using a Roman super, whether it's in PvP, PvE, it is going to last a little bit longer. And yes, Bottom Tree Striker has the potential to be an absolute nightmare with that empowered buff active. Now, if you're working on upgrades for Solstice, we have covered quite a lot of that stuff on the channel, but honestly, my number one recommendation, if you are looking for additional tips, would be to check out Cheese Forever's channel. He's been posting loads of videos, things like 100 mini-bosses that you can farm inside of the Aerial Zone. Really useful stuff, and so I'd totally recommend that you check out his videos if you're after any additional tips. But otherwise, of course, as I mentioned yesterday, a lot of people have been talking about this secret area. You've got the drain beneath the Aerial Zone, with the cat statue from the Dreaming City. We simply don't know what it does, but we do have interesting items in the database, such as a classified Solstice key. We can see that this one is no longer a key fragment, but a full key. And so it's entirely possible that these two things are linked together, but there is other speculation. Could the hidden area be linked to Wish 15 or something like that? I mean, we're getting close to the end of the year, so maybe if Bungie wants to conclude that, it could be a thing, or it could be a quest location for in the future, or some of the neat kind of reward or Easter egg that is in the Aerial Zone, right? We'll just have to wait and find out. For today though, guys, that is everything that I wanted to talk about, so once again, let us know your thoughts on all of the changes with Shadowkeep. how the change of that launch date is going to kind of affect you. Once again, I totally sympathize, if folks have taken time off work. And I have friends myself who've already done that, so it's certainly kind of awkward. And I'd love to hear any of your thoughts, or let us know how you're getting on with the Solstice grind as well. But if you found the video useful, a rating is very much appreciated. And if you're new here and you want to keep up to date with Destiny content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But otherwise, thank you for tuning in, guys. We'll survive those extra couple of weeks, man. And I hope you have an awesome day.